I am the Chaplain Corps, born on a summer day, July 29th, 1775, when the Continental Congress breathed life into me. With a single decree, one chaplain for each regiment in this fledgling Continental Army. It only took 2 weeks for the Army to understand we need chaplains amongst us. Of the 218 who served during this war for independence, 25 of us would lay down our lives. Our blood mingled with the soil of liberty. I was there with our soldiers from Bunker Hill's smoke to Yorktown's triumph. But we were small then, just a whisper of hope. That is, we even dwindled down to a solitary soul after the War of 1812 in the regular army. Until 1838, when the frontier called and the United States said, "We're going west." 13 of us answered that call to guard a growing nation's spirit. The Mexican-American War would bring new voices, our very first Roman Catholic chaplains, breaking the mold of tradition. But it would be the war between the states that would truly test my mettle. With 2,546 serving in the Union Army and 1,308 serving in the Confederacy, we became a tapestry of faiths woven together in crisis. Other firsts would emerge in this time period. Our first Jewish chaplain, our first Native American chaplain, our first African American chaplain, and our first unofficial female chaplain. 4 chaplains in the Union Army would go on to receive the Medal of Honor. All in all, 116 chaplains laying down their lives, their prayers a shield for the wounded. It was during this time where I would learn that my strength lies in my presence, giving strength to the human spirit. As the years marched on, I grew into my role. In 1867, I became a commissioned officer, standing shoulder to shoulder with my comrades. In 1901, I was officially embedded into the regular army. In 1909, my best friend would join me, the chaplain assistant. And in 1914, I would join the ranks of donning the uniform with my rank gleaming with pride because of the service that I give to our men and women in uniform. World War I expanded my growth from 146 to 2,363 in the regular army. Many chaplains would fall. 23 killed, 11 of those in battle, 27 wounded. Yet, they continued to lead with unyielding resolve. From this crucible came my very first chief of chaplains. In 1926, Colonel Axton became the first steward of my soul. World War II brought about our greatest expansion from 140 chaplains to 8,141. We served on every front from Normandy to Iwo Jima. And in the shadow of 140 losing their lives during World War II, I was still there, holding the hands of the dying and giving solace to the living. Korea will double my ranks from 734 to 1,448, with 13 laying down their lives, 4 of which were POWs. Vietnam would send 1,800 my chaplains, with 13 chaplains and 8 chaplain assistants paying the ultimate sacrifice. 2 would rise to receive the Medal of Honor. Well, as time progressed, I, as a Chaplain Corps, also progressed. In 1974, we received our very first female chaplain, shattering the glass ceiling. In 1984, UMTs would officially become part of Army doctrine, 1 chaplain and 1 chaplain assistant, changing the Army. In 2017, chaplain assistants would later be renamed to religious affairs specialists. And currently, we have our first religious affair specialist, who is a female, serving as a regimental sergeant major. I represent the spectrum of humanity. Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, over 120 denominations, faiths united for the purpose of serving our men and women in uniform. Desert Storm would see 565 sent over and 615 chaplain assistants sent over. It was the War on Terror, where we sent over 2,000 chaplains. 1 chaplain and 1 chaplain assistant, making the ultimate sacrifice. You see, I am more than a corps. I am a promise to stand with any soldier, regardless of race, rank, or creed, right there in the foxhole, to offer them prayers, to give them strength when it seems like they have no more strength left to give. My story is your story. It's written in courage, sealed with faith, and it's carried forward by any soul who's willing to wear my cross, my scroll, my crescent, my wheel, my arm. You see, as long as there are soldiers, I will be there. Guardian of the soul, companion in the storm. Now listen to 3 of my heroes speak. Their voices, my heartbeat. Their deeds, my soul. My name is John Hurt. I was born in Virginia, and I was called to preach and ordained in 1774. I was personally asked by George Washington himself to be the very first chaplain. I was only 22 years old when I stood with the 6th Virginia Regiment, and we stood with them from everywhere from Princeton to Trenton. I will never forget being there with them as we fought off the British. There was one particular day in 1781, I was captured, and I was placed on a prison ship, and these prison ships were known for infestation, disease, death, starvation. And when there was no hope left to give, I dug deep and I found hope to share, strengthening the human spirit. There was one particular sermon that I preached that seemed to encourage a lot of hearts. It was called "For Love of Our Country." One particular segment in it, I remember saying this: "The name patriot implies everything that is godlike among men." I was one of 25 who would fall during this war for independence. Our seed would become the Chaplain Corps that we know today. I was there to help shape and define what it even meant to be a chaplain. Pro Deo et Patria, for God and country. My name is Angelo Lidke. I served with the 199th Infantry Brigade, and it was December 6, 1967, Phu Loc, Vietnam, that would test my resolve. We were ambushed by a battalion. My company hugged the ground as men began to fall. I crawled through mud and fire to reach the wounded. I held one soldier in my arms as he cried out for his mother. I shielded another with my own body. Myself, I was wounded on my neck and on my foot, and yet I was able to drag 20 to safety. God, as my strength, allowed me to see 20 more lives go back home to their families. What a day it was. Nobody wanted to stand up and direct medevacs, so I did that. I offered last rites to those who were fallen until relief was able to come. There's one particular soldier I remember like it was just yesterday. We were under fire and there was so much chaos. And this soldier was so heavy and so wounded. I couldn't carry him in a normal fashion, so I had to get creative. I dragged him on top of my belly. And with all the fortitude I could muster left in these moments, I used only my heels and my elbows to back crawl this soldier to safety. They gave me a Medal of Honor for this, but it was their lives that mattered. My faith is what drove me. God was my strength, and their hope of living another day was my only reward. My name is Staff Sergeant Christopher Stout, Religious Affairs Specialist, 82nd Airborne, Kandahar, Afghanistan, July 13th, 2010. As the backbone of our UMT, it was my job to protect and shield my chaplain, to coordinate for support, and I was there offering prayers to those who needed it. I'll never forget, our Afghan police compound was attacked by insurgents, and we kept pushing forward and we kept trying to survive, but I would eventually fall. One of two during this global war on terror as a part of the Corps that would end up falling. They honor me today at Arlington's Chaplain's Hill, but I did it for them. I did it so that they could see another day and our mission could continue moving forward. I am their legacy. Her, igniting the flame. Lidke, literally carrying the wounded. Stout, guarding the mission. From our humble inception in 1775 to the growing, united, diverse force that we are today, the Chaplain Corps has always stood as a beacon of hope and a pillar of valor for our men and women in uniform. You see, I am more than a corps. I am a promise. A promise to stand with any soldier in the foxhole, regardless of rank, race, or creed, to offer them prayers in the chaos or the silence, to breathe life into them when they feel like they have no life left to give. My story is your story. It's written in courage, it's sealed with faith, and it's carried forward by any soul who's willing to wear my cross, my scroll, my crescent, my wheel, my arm. You see, as long as there are soldiers, I will be there. Guardian of the soul, companion in the storm. Soldiers of God, We serve him faithfully and march in his name through thunder and flame, wherever that call may lead. Trusting in God, his strength we lean upon, as into the fight the legions of light, the soldiers of God march